show called Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced and get happy with Dr. Marissa. And this show is about hope and happiness. So there's no gossip, no scandal. Instead, I want you to focus on your own reality show and how you can be happy 88% of the time. So I have shows and topics.
Sunday, Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days. Thursday, Friday, happy days.
Monday, Tuesday,
Happy days.
Wednesday, Thursday,
Happy days.
Friday, whatever.
Happy days.
What a day. Na, 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 na.
I love you.
I love you too.
Best known as the mom from Happy Days, and she is a delightful 89-year young Marion Ross to my studio. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Dr. Marissa, this is such a treat for me.
Oh.
My goodness, you're a wonderment.
Which is exactly the kind of guest that I like. Those who have gone through life, good and bad, and then taken those experiences to alchemize them into the person they are now and doing good on the planet. I'd like you to welcome Corey Feldman.
If you're grateful for it and you say right away, thank you, God. Oh, my God, it's so beautiful. I'm so blessed. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Then guess what? More good things will come to you.
Does this sound familiar at all? She's back again to mark my Cancer Awareness and Prevention Month show. Please welcome Fran Drescher. Hi, Fran.
On and supporting cancer schmance. I really appreciate it.
So what would you say are some of the biggest myths, Fran, that people have about cancer?
Well, I would say that they think that there's a cure for it.
Okay.
Instead of a cause for it.
This is the first call-in show when I get to be Dr. Marissa, the kinder, gentler Dr. Laura. And people call in to get their life tires balanced and their critical thinking or their BS, their belief systems, smog checked. And today I am delighted to have Malie calling in from Birmingham, Alabama.
We could go 90 days and end up having terrible sex. And then you say, well, the relationship's not all about sex. Well, if I'm not getting great sex from you, then I'm going to get it from somebody else. Right?
That moose just got put on the table. And I see Josh and Jim.
I have to agree
You're
with Clyde.
both nodding. Ramon's sort of half nodding because his wife's listening. But
I understood what was going to happen if I, Muhammad Ali's youngest daughter, made public that I was going to become a boxer. So I wanted to make sure this was the path that I wanted to go down.
you are absolutely fabulous, beautiful inside and out. And I'm giving you Dr. Marissa's Beneficial Presence on the Planet Award today.
Thank you.
Just sit right back and you'll hear a tale of a fateful trip that started from this tropic point.
When I go, I'm gone.
Are you lonely?
No.
Nah, I knew that was going to be
But
the answer.
I surround myself with people. I mean, I'm always the one cooking for things. Or I'm always the one that decorates first and come to my house. All the orphans that have no place.
I'm going to have no place to go, so I can come over.
Come on over.
And life is so amazing if we can see it.
off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You're tuned into Take My Advice. I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on NBC News, CNBC News, and NBC Sports radio station KCAA, home to the Asian Oprah, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, TuneIn, Audible, Amazon Music, Tiki Live, Rumble, Podchaser, Spreaker, and more. Why so many places? Because I want to maximize my splatter zone for more hope and happiness. And that's what this show is about. So there's no gossip, no scandal, and no K words, no Kanye talk at all. Instead, I want you to focus on your own reality show and how you can be happy 88% of the time. Why not 100%? If you're happy 100% of the time, you're dead. And I do not want to see dead people walking or talking. Instead, I want you to free subscribe to my YouTube channel where you have every single show, all of my past 986 interviews. Actually, we're on 990 today. This was when we were going to do this last week, and we had a little hiccup. And so you got a past show, but we're live today. So go to my YouTube channel, free subscribe, and you can chat with us today because as you can see, we do have my Thursday co-host with the most host, and his name is Sam Works. You know him as my partner in some triple entendre crime. We get to talk about everything as we ramp up into the weekend, and we definitely do push the edge of the envelope, the FCC envelope. We don't do any bad words. I have to be careful because my station manager is listening on today. So I will have to behave sort of, but we do talk about naughty things, not because we're trying to convince you of anything, but this is an extension of a series that I used to have when I was on once a week, every last week of the month, called Sexual Healing with Dr. Marissa. Because if we don't talk about this stuff, sex, lust, love, romance, partners, all of that stuff, then you know what? You learn from the two worst P's you can. And that's what the kids are learning from. Peers and porn. And we don't want that. So that's why I specifically put the moose on the table, which is my Canadian version of the elephant in the room. That way we can talk about it, educate. I do research. We have experience from both Sam and I, and I know I'm ageless, but we are from different generations. So it's a good talk. And so welcome back to the show and Straight Talk with Dr. Marissa and
Sam Works.
Good morning, doll.
Good morning, Dr. Marissa. How are you?
I am happy and grateful.
There you go.
And we're going to have breakfast together to as a frame to see how you've been doing. So breakfast with Dr. Marissa, as y'all know, is 8 specific things that you're grateful for on the top of the bun. And then the bottom of the bun, because Sam likes it on the bottom, is 8 specific things that you like about yourself. Appreciations, because it's so important. If you cannot... You want to do it?
If you cannot appreciate yourself, then how the fork can you have other people appreciate you?
Very good. Very good. So that is why we do it. I am grateful that you got in the studio before me. First time ever, probably ever, since I've known Sam. So that is like a huge thing. We're going to give him a little... What are you grateful for?
Man, recently I've been very grateful that I've been waking up earlier than usual. The times that I've always wanted to wake up, and that's either before sunrise or at least 6 o'clock. And
figures. We changed the show to 9. And now he's getting up earlier. Anyways,
No, no, baby.
I am grateful for hot showers.
That's a good one. I'm grateful that Mark is um, taking care of me as the troubles start brewing in my life. So I'm grateful for him.
I'm grateful that I am Love My Body Project 7.0, did 30 minutes on the bike and laps in the pool, even though I had horrific cramps. I race sailboats every Wednesday night. And when I'm in the pit, which is my position, and I'm the pit boss, I'm doing a lot of things that require a lot of strength. And I like power through anything that doesn't, like when my body's hurting, I'm not aware of it because I'm in the zone. But the next day,
You feel
I'm
it.
like, I get those Charlie horses all over my body. So I've been eating bananas like I'm a monkey. So anyways, what are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for my comfy bed and books. Those are the two things that make me fall asleep so fast.
All right, there's two. I'll do my last one then. I am grateful. I'm grateful for life, that I get another day to smile and create and innovate and laugh and learn and be naughty. So that's what I'm grateful for. And now we go to the bottom of the bun, and that is, what do we like about ourselves? So Sam, I'm going to let you start this one.
What do I like about ourselves? I like that I'm starting to take care of myself a little more. Maybe because I'm a little less stressed, so I'm able to, feel like I can improve my health and wealth and finances a little more.
I appreciate that I am ageless, even though a week from today, I will be celebrating another revolution around the sun. I get to celebrate my birthday on this particular series next week. That's the
Next
actual day of
week.
my birthday. Yes.
What?
Yeah, I know. And the nice thing is, I think it's because since I lost the weight, but I've had quite a bit more attention from the opposite sex, and they really do think I am a lot younger than I am, which is good. I appreciate that I have, that Asian, whatever that allows us to look 10. The joke is we look 10 to 15 to 20 years younger than we actually are. Actually 25, the last guess. But once we hit a certain number, we go from like really young to super old. And we're like bent over. Like there's no 70s and 80s looking. You go directly from looking 50 or 40 something right to 90. That's a joke. What do you appreciate your most?
I also appreciate that how nice of a guy that I am. I get that might be one of my compliments that I don't get face to face, but I get from a lot of people telling me like, "Oh my gosh, everyone thinks you're so sweet." Da 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 da. And I was like, "Well, good. I'm glad, because if I wasn't, that would be a problem, right?"
Yes. Yeah, that's good. It's funny. Yesterday's show, we were talking about the fear of success, the fear of failure, and the fear, I added one, the fear of being found out. Right?
Ooh.
Yeah. And I used to, when people would compliment me, because I didn't appreciate myself, I wasn't doing this discipline of focusing on what I am good at. I would only beat myself up for what I wasn't good at and who I was. And as a result, I had the imposter syndrome, right? The fear of being found out that you're not. And people would say to me, "Oh my God, I heard that you're blah, blah, blah." And I go, "Thank you." And then I would say, how long it's going to be before they find out I'm really not a nice person, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I appreciate that I've gotten to the point where I own my compliments, which is what you're saying, which is great that you can do it at the age that you are and not have to, work on it and, and work through all of that for generations before you do that. So kudos to you.
Yeah, I always found that it was strange to not only accept your compliments, but knowing how to accept your compliments, Like some people like shy away from that, or they get like offended by it almost. And it's like, and it's so weird. I don't
Yeah.
understand.
Well, women, I would say, I'm going to generalize here, but they've done studies that women are a lot harder on themselves than guys. And so taking a compliment is really something you have to practice, because if you compliment a guy on his hair, he'll say, thank you. If you compliment a girl on their hair, they go, oh, I didn't even wash it today. Or, that outfit looks good. Oh, I got it, at the 99-cent store, or somehow downplay everything. And they've actually done studies, and I call it Have a Guy Day, because most women think they are fatter, not as smart, and not as attractive as they actually are. But most men think they are better looking, more buff, and have more hair than they actually do. So I'm not male bashing. I'm actually saying I wish that more women would have a guy day and learn from the guy, how to take that compliment and how do they see themselves better. And I know I've got some feminists right now jumping up and down going, how could you say something like that? Well, honey, oops, I shouldn't have said that. Hey, doll, I know that's not good either. Hey, hey, go to the gym. Go to the gym and watch a woman, most women that walk by that mirror, like look at themselves and then look down. Most guys walk by that mirror and get closer to the mirror and start posing and flexing. So, hello, there's your proof. But anyways, I think we finished off with the appreciations. Thank you for joining us for breakfast. This is Straight Talk with Dr. Marissa and
Sam Works.
And we are on Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It, Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind. And now, talking about behinds, Sam, what is our topic today? I don't even remember who came up with it. Probably your mom. But what is the topic for today?
So the topic for today is what is the difference between infatuation, lust, and love?
And they called it puppy love.
There you go. Hitting it.
So, what is the difference, Sam, between, let's start with, what was the first one? Affection? No.
Infatuation.
Infatuation.
That's a word, by the way.
That's a good word.
Yeah, we're going to have to look these definitions
up.
up.
Yeah, I'm going to look it up right now. Let's see.
I do think that, there's like the facts of what the definition is, and then there's your own little story behind each one,
So the definition of infatuation is, here we go. The dictionary says, an intense but short-lived passion or admiration for someone or something. He has developed an infatuation with the girl. So short-lived passion or admiration. Okay. Feeling, here's another one, Merriam-Webster. The meaning of infatuation is a feeling of foolish or obsessively strong love for and an admiration for or interest in. And it's also a name of a restaurant. So that is, here's another one. We'll do 3. Wikipedia, infatuation or being smitten, I haven't used that in a long time, is the state of being carried away by unreasoned passion, usually towards another person for whom one has developed a strong romantic feelings. Psychologist Frank Cox says that infatuation can be distinguished from romantic love only when looking back on a particular case of being attracted to a person. Infatuation may also develop into a mature love. So that's interesting because the first couple of definitions sounded like it was a bad thing or not a great thing, right?
Yeah.
But the last one said it could lead to mature love. So infatuation is immature love,
Makes
and
sense.
what comes to mind for me is people who see movie stars or musicians and become infatuated with them. Posters. I without dating myself. Actually, I'm not even going to say it because I will date myself. But the posters of people on my wall were okay. Fine. David Cassidy. I had an infatuation. Um, this is a funny one. I actually had this super strong dream of meeting Barry Manilow in the airport. And I don't know if you know who that is, but he was a heartthrob. And he's also gay. But in those days, it did not come out that he was gay. So I had a very strong infatuation with those two guys. Who were you infatuated with when you were a kid? Or you were still a kid, but by the way, Sam is 23. When's your birthday?
September 2nd.
Okay, that's coming up.
That's about a month. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. A little less than a month. So, as a kid, you didn't really have an opinion, so you kind of followed your peers. And so my infatuations were two. One was Megan Fox, obviously. As a kid, she was prime time, the hottie patati out there. And then and the other one was Ava Mendez as my two celebrity crushes that I had infatuations with. You don't know who Megan Fox is?
I just looked her up. I'm like the worst media red carpet name recognition person you will ever meet in your entire life. So that's a nice picture of her. She's an actress. Okay.
Yeah.
When you said Fox, I just went to Fox News and thought about
Oh,
host,
no,
but
Megan
that's
Fox. And then the other one was Ava Mendez. And
Ava.
that was who my dad was, he thought she was the hottest actress in the industry. So I was like, oh yeah, I agree, Dad. As a little kid, I was like, yeah, me too. But they're both very beautiful. So
Did I pull that one up or no? I didn't. That's on a different page. Hold on. Let me go from here to. She looks familiar. What movie was she in? Ava.
Transformers.
Oh, she's on Transformers?
Megan Fox is not Ava Mendez, but Megan Fox.
Oh, okay. But Ava Mendez. Children. I'm not really familiar with these.
She was like on The Other Guys, Hitch.
Never watched that. Is she
you never
married
seen
to
Hitch?
Is she married to Ryan? No.
No, I think they're just taking pictures. But if you've never seen Hitch, Dr. Marissa, I think you should watch it. It's with Will Smith, Ava Mendez, and a couple good actors and actresses. And
Hitch? Hitch.
Yeah.
I actually did see that. Now I do. That's why I recognize her. That was a really good movie for sure.
I know it's a
for sure.
It's a classic.
So I think there was some infatuation in that movie. Actually, wasn't there?
Yeah, the intense emotions between each other.
Yeah.
I like the first definition that you pulled up because it said, extreme emotions, but like short-lived. It's only like temporary, and that kind of reminds me of like the first trimester of like dating someone. You get all these crazy emotions, and then you're pretty much blinded by each other, and then after a couple months down the line, you start to realize the things that you don't like, the things that you can't tolerate anymore. And they say like the brightest star burns the fastest. So it's like when you meet someone and you're just infatuated by them, I think the feelings is so strong, but it dies out so fast, and I think there's a reason why people should be like taking it slow when it comes to sleeping with somebody, or moving in or getting married so quickly. Like, it's take your time. you know Maybe you just might be in a infatuated state of mind or something. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that and I'm happy to hear Sam refer to the first trimester. That's actually from my model called the pregnancy model of relationships. And that first 3 months in the first trimester is when you got the glow and everything's beautiful and they're hot and they're wonderful, and you talk to them until 2 in the morning and you can't get enough and your mind's always on them and you can't wait to see them, and all kinds of promises are made, unrealistic promises like I will love you forever or bring you flowers and all of that bullshit talkie that doesn't last. And then you go, you don't bring me flowers anymore. I don't know why I'm in the singing mood, but anyways, first of all, my new sound engineer Frank said he knew who Eva meant. He knew all those names of who that I
Of
didn't
course
know.
he did.
But anyways, Megan Fox. He said he knows a Megan Fox. And then welcome. We have a LinkedIn a streamer right now, Bhagwan Ishavasyam. How did I do that? Did I do that all right? We'll see. But thank you for joining us in studio. We are live. We are live in studio and live streaming from my living room and on YouTube channel. That's my Show Central. Free subscribe. You'll get an alert every right before 9 a.m. The new time slot, as well as Facebook and LinkedIn. So hopefully you're there. You can listen in, laugh, and also ask questions or make comments for yourself. So first trimester is infatuation. It is, I would distinguish infatuation and lust, with infatuation lasts longer than lust. That's just what came to my mind. When you're lusting, you only lust until it's fulfilled, right? Lust is the ramp up to consummation. That's my definition. And
Okay.
in the pregnancy model, the first trimester is when you don't. I love when one of my past guests and friend, Don Miguel Ruiz, who, if you haven't read the Four Agreements, you got to read that. But he has a book called The Mastery of Love, which it was so helpful to me to understand all of these things. And he inspired me to create this model where you're like a fruit in the marketplace. So when you go to the marketplace or farmer's market and you see the fruit, the person that's putting the fruit out puts the best side on the top. So you only see the best side, right? That's the first 3 trimesters. The second trimester, you turn the fruit, or you pick up the fruit and you see the bottom and it's not so pretty. And that is the reality. It's not the person is bad, but no one is just good. No one is just all the sugar and cream that you see in that first trimester. The reality of the fullness of who they are comes out in the second trimester, and that's when you get bloated and you're not, you get sick and your ankles puff, and then all of a sudden you don't like the person that you're with. So, lust for you. What's lust?
Honestly, I would say crazy obsession. Which can honestly be dangerous, like physically and mentally, right? Because if someone has lust for someone else, then they're gonna really want to, keep them for themselves and start, putting down boundaries that they shouldn't be putting down. Like, give me your phone. I don't want you. Like, you're mine, only mine. They start getting crazy, and that's where you gotta draw the line, because now it's not even lust anymore. It's just kidnapping. I would say.
It's controlling on steroids.
Yes.
So, yeah, I know someone who's dating someone right now, and I'm a little concerned because they both work in the same place, and he is insecure enough to comment on on her being too nice with a customer. That's scary, but it's none of my business. I've not been asked for my reaction or advice, and if I say something, she'll go the other way, right? Because that's just the dynamic it is. Usually when you give people advice that they don't want to hear, they're going to defend the person. And then if you make a comment supporting them, they'll bash the person. That seems to be a common thing that happens when you try to help someone.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, yes, it is dangerous. That leads to stalking. It's almost I think it is a mental illness, because that's what we talked about that one show with sexual addiction. I think sexual addiction is very much the lust on steroids, very surface level. There's no meaningful connection beyond that strong physical, gotta have you, gotta be in you, literally all the time. Not healthy, right?
Not healthy. Yeah.
Because you do not exist unless you are with that person. And I have to be honest, our society has romanticized relationships with Snow White and Cinderella and Jerry Maguire. You complete me. So I can't be a full person without you. And so my identity is completely enmeshed with you. So if you're not happy, I'm not happy. If I'm not happy, you shouldn't be happy. You should always be doing everything with me. And if you have any kind of independence or any kind of doing something or disagree with me, then you don't love me. Sound familiar?
That sounds like lust.
That's lust. It's almost, lust is like, to me, like a puffy word. There's got to be a word between lust and danger. Right?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have to make something up.
When you said that phrase that, oh, you complete me, I don't personally use that phrase. I say that you are a reflection of me. So it's like, if you're acting up, like if I'm with you and you're acting up somewhere else and I hear stories about you being silly or something like that, or even vice versa, like I don't see that as a good sign, right? Because you're with me, I'm with you, therefore we're a reflection of each other. So we have to have that balance of like control with each other and with ourselves, you know? And some people, it's hard for them to understand, but like I may have my manners and, you know, my personality, but if I'm out in public or if I'm with people that know, you know, my girlfriend, whatever the case may be, like I'm going to be on my feet, you know, like I'm going to make sure that I'm making a good representation of myself and for her, you know, because the last thing we want, I mean, I know society plays a role in relationships. The last thing you want is for everyone around you to not want you and your significant other to be with each other because, you know, one's worse than the other. You know what I mean?
Well, that goes into that, you know, how much does what other people think of the relationship matter? So that for me is a balance. It should matter some, but not all, because you know, they got all their hangups or wherever they're coming from. But I see my theory is you are a whole person. The other person is a whole person. And then when you enter into a relationship, that relationship becomes a whole entity in and of itself. So now this might be extreme, but I used to think, and I still think this, when you're in a house, if you have a house, there should be one room that is representative of both of you, right? And that would be your bedroom when you're together. And then I believe there should be one space, area, or room that should be yours. And you're doing in there things that you enjoy that they might not enjoy, instead of trying to make them enjoy something. It's your space, it's your, your life, the part of you that is independent from that relationship. And then they also have a room or a garage or a den or a man cave or whatever that is theirs to be themselves wholly and fully, so they don't lose themselves in the relationship. And then there's the entity itself, right, that has the together and the respect and the the gelling that of a combined entity. So that to me is a healthy relationship. The most unhealthy relationships I've seen are people that lose a sense of who they are because and it's not even that that person asks them to be complete me. They themselves have a BS, a belief system that they give up themselves when they become part of a relationship. And it's one of the most unhealthy, especially for women, because the role of women in the past has been to complete the man. They are an accessory. They are the ones that provide the support system for the man to shine. That was the way it was. It's not the way it is now. But the transition, I think, has been more difficult for women than it has been for men. Like, men are like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Equal rights, equal work, equal pay. I want to be in partnership with a woman. I don't want to be her walk behind me. I want her to walk with me. But the women are the ones that struggle more with, okay, I want to be equal, but the bottom line is you can't have the kid in your body. Not possible. I'm the one that births. I'm the one that's a more natural caretaker. Again, this is not male bashing. It is just the way women and feminists, just relax. Women have hormones that allow us to have children. We are more emotional and sensitive for that reason. So we're growing bodies in our body. And so of course, we're better at the caretaking and the homemaking. And we are also strong and powerful and creative and want to be strategic. And so what happens? We try to do both, all. And it's exhausting. And I don't think we've done a very good job being open and honest about that to look for a solution.
Everything you said the last 5 minutes was very passionate, Dr. Marissa.
I'm infatuated with the idea.
Yes, you are. And if infatuation, love, and lust was on a spectrum, right? Like, love is the sweet spot, because you don't want infatuation, because that's maybe just the start of the relationship. Then you start swinging, then you fall in love, right? And then you swing a little further because you get a little carried away, and now you're in the lust spectrum. And it's like finding that sweet spot I would say, is hard to do.
Interesting.
So my girlfriend, she works, she's a server at this bar and stuff, and the boss tells her she's an entertainer, right? Like, you're supposed to get good tips, flirt with people, get your money, right? I have no problem with that. And I remember when she told me, she was like, all right, if you go to the bar, if you go to see me, you can't get mad if I'm talking to my guest or my people, because it's my job to entertain, to make sure, that I get good tips and all that stuff. And if I was a man who had lust or even jealousy for her, I would probably not go to that bar or even want her to work there, or try to control her career or her job or anything like that, So right now I'm able to control my emotions and my demeanor and my presence and even my appearance when I go there, or even when I'm not there, knowing that she's working tonight and she looks really great, and all that stuff. And some people are not able to handle that. And I think when it comes to infatuation, love, and lust, it's all based off controlling your emotions, right? Because if you can control your emotions, then you won't have that lust. You won't be so controlling, you know. Or if you can control your emotions, you wouldn't have that infatuation to where you burn out the quote unquote love that you have for that person, right? And that's just my take on it.
Interesting. Interesting. So many ways that I could go on this one, but let's just make sure we cover the topic. So I'm still back on your spectrum, because for me, I see lust as before infatuation, and then after infatuation is love.
Really?
Neither one is correct, but that's just my personal thing. But I wanted to look at lust, since we looked at the definition of infatuation. Lust is very strong sexual desire. So that's why when you said it was on this end of infatuation, I would say it's closer. Lust is closer to infatuation than it is on the other side of love.
Oh, okay.
You see what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So lust is a cousin, and almost like, holding hands with infatuation. Very strong sexual desire for someone. Let's see. Merriam-Webster says usually an intense or unbridled sexual desire, lasciviousness. Do you know how to say that one? Not quite sure.
Screen's too small. I'm sorry.
I know. It's an interesting word. Lust is a psychological force producing intense desire for something or circumstance while already having a significant amount of the desired object. Interesting. So lust is like you have what you want, but you want more. You lust for more. That's where that expression comes from. Okay. So, this one, very well mined. Lust is a feeling of strong sexual desire for another person. It is the initial driving force that attracts us to a potential mate. Okay, so that last one sounds like it's saying that it's lust is a precursor to a relationship. That feeling of lust is mandatory to have a relationship. Ooh, that's an interesting. Do you for me, that's been my BS belief system from get-go. If I don't feel attracted to you, if I don't if I don't have visions of you, making my toes curl, if I don't feel that burning in my furnace, it's a no-go. There's no point, literally, in going any further. That's been my going forward. Now, we've talked about how can you have a relationship and develop feelings of lust when you initially don't. That's that friend becomes lover, friend becomes relationship. That covers it all. Do you believe that you have to have your toes curled in order to have a love relationship at the beginning?
Not at all.
Do you have to have sexual attraction? If you don't have sexual attraction, can you still have a good relationship? A love relationship?
Yes. And let me explain to you why. My longest relationship, the woman that I fell in love with, all that good stuff, is exactly that. I did not like her at first. I did not find her attractive. I was just like, she's just another person, right? And she had lust for me, but I didn't have 0%, no chance, whatever, And I just wanted to be nice and friendly, and she wanted to hang out all the time, and I was like, look, I guess we can hang out, I guess, and then it literally took like 8 months before I was like, I gave her a chance. And then after those 8 months, like her beauty just started to bloom in my eyes. Like I was like blinded by her love, and not even just by her looks, but like by everything, her personality, like her heart, her everything, And then it grew to the point where I was like, I really love this person. Like now, well, not now, but then I was sexually attracted to her, physically, emotionally, spiritually. I was everything, but it took months down the line for me to even feel that.
I've never had that happen. I don't even hang out with people that long because I'm like, literally, if I don't feel that initially, it's what's the point? So it's an interesting thing. I don't know if I can suspend my BS long enough to have that happen. I mean, I'm better than before because I was telling you on that speed dating thing. I mean, I talked to the guy 5 minutes longer than I normally would have looking at him. Yeah, that's really it's a very good personal point for me to ponder.
Well, in her case, I was a server, and she first met me because she came into the restaurant. And then after that, like, she wanted to be around me, so she got hired. She started working with me. So it's not like I can just like avoid her, you know? Like, it wasn't just like, oh, it was nice to meet you. Da, da. Now she's my coworker, you know? And then
Still?
No, not anymore.
Okay.
I'm not a server no more. But
you're right. But
yeah,
I didn't know if she followed you. That's a pretty significant thing to do, to be close to you.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how else she's gonna, see me or whatever. So after that, because she was my coworker and she was a really cool girl, she was super nice, we're just like friendly. And then she wanted to like date or hang out or whatever. And that's when I told her, I was like, look, we're definitely not gonna date until at least 4 months, because that's how usually my relationships last, because of the first trimester. And so I was like, you're gonna have to wait at least that long. And then she did. And then she waited another 4 months. And I realized, I was like, dang, she's really loyal, sweet, she's cool. Like, I'll give her a chance. And then that's just when it all went downhill from there. Well, I guess it went uphill, right? It went uphill from there.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
Was there a moment that when you first kissed her, did you actually feel attraction?
I mean, yeah, no, I thought she was like cute, but like in my head, I was like,
Which head?
Like
sorry, couldn't resist.
In my mind, I was like,
Thank you.
I can do better or whatever, like I had my own, I was still, I wasn't looking for a girlfriend, right? So that automatically put a veil in between us, or like a blockage. I was like, I'm not even gonna try to get into this, da 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 da. And it was just like, I was just going with emotions. But after a certain time, I was like, I kept looking back, like, as it was a crazy time, crazy moment. But that was my longest relationship too. And I think it was because we started off slow. It wasn't, we just jumped the gun. We started sleeping together. It wasn't anything like that. It was during the pandemic. So we really were like, we had to like, there wasn't much we can do. So we just got to know each other,
Yeah. Yeah. That is, well, wasn't it Ariana Grande who, fell in love during the pandemic and they were going to get married? And then they realized this is a pandemic possibility, but maybe just not realistic. Let's go to love and see the definitions here. An intense feeling of deep affection. Wikipedia, love encompasses a range of strong and positive emotional mental states, starting from the most sublime virtue or good habit. Merriam-Webster, strong affection for another, arising out of a kinship or personal ties, attraction based on sexual desire. And then we went to very well. Love is a set of emotions and behaviors characterized by intimacy, passion, and commitment. It involves care, closeness, protection. So that follows what your continuum from infatuation to love. So it's a longer lasting infatuation, maybe?
Yeah. Well, we can't say everlasting, right? But we can say longer lasting.
Longer lasting. Yeah, thanks for making that clarification, because you know how I feel about my book of romance and how a lot of people are unhappy unnecessarily because they think there's only one. And that's bullshitaki. It's a BS that keeps you looking for the one. It keeps you, when you've had one and they die or they break your heart or whatever it is, that completely ruins your ability to have another relationship. So I absolutely, if you've never heard me soapbox about this before, that is something that religion has done a good con job on us. And if you are miserable because you haven't met the one, stop believing in something that completely sidelines your ability to have a good relationship.
Yeah, I think the one thing that stuck with me throughout this whole time we've been doing all these shows together was, if there was one true love and if they died, what, you're not going to fall in love again, And I was like, that really stuck to me, because I was like, man, that's so true, and like that helped me move on. And it wasn't until you told me that where I realized, I was like, thank you, Dr. Marissa.
Ha! You're welcome. It was my blessing to correct bullshitaki when I see it. Call the BS the belief system that is really making so many people miserable. And I absolutely know that there are so many people you could fall in love with, so many people you could have a successful relationship. And my formula for world peace is, if you have a relationship and it doesn't work out, don't blame the other person. Don't blame yourself. It just isn't a match anymore. If everybody would adopt that BS, we would have world peace, because almost all of the conflict is based on you promised, right? That first trimester, you said that you would always love me. You said, if you loved me, you would do this. If you loved me, you wouldn't say that. If you loved me, blah, 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 blah. And it's so like the cause of so much conflict, right? Look at everything. Crime, crimes of passion, crimes of all those things. So somebody's eating a cookie or something on mic right now. Do you hear it? That's so weird. Is it Mark? It's either Mark or Frank. Frank, are you eating something? I hear this crunching thing. Do you hear it?
I only hear it when you're talking, and it just started like just now. Do you hear it when I'm talking?
That's interesting. It sounds like a little gerbil.
Yeah. It sounds like you're going next to the mic and like playing with something. I don't know. Maybe.
What am I playing with? Oh, wait. So Frank hears it as well, and I don't know what it's from. Oh, it's gone.
Yeah, look at that.
That's so weird. That's so weird. So we are almost, we're definitely in the last 5 minutes of this show called, I forgot to do a station ID. Take my advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind, home to the Asian Oprah, AM 1050, FM 106.5. And streaming everywhere, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, and my YouTube channel that houses all of my past 990 shows. Gotta fix that. And we are talking about love, lust, and infatuation here on my very special Thursday series with Sam Works, and it's called Straight Talk with
Sam
Marissa
Works.
There you go.
Sam
And,
Works, yeah.
and so we are almost done. What's your final word?
Man, my final words is, if you were to reflect yourself in what stage you're at, lust, infatuation, and love, I don't know if I would say like correct yourself, but acknowledge where you're at in a relationship and how you're feeling. And you know what? A guy told me, right? Because this is for a guy's perspective. He says, control your 3 T's, right? He says, control your tongue. So watch what you say. Control your tummy, right? So don't get all obese and fat. Like, have a good diet. And then control your thing, right? If you can control your tongue, your tummy, and your thing, you'll be all right. And I was like, okay. I'll keep that in mind.
Wow. How old is this guy?
Oh, he was old. He was like in his 50s, late 50s.
In his 50s? Is he single?
No, he's not.
Okay.
He's been married, yeah. Because I asked him, I was like, because he's been together with his, wife for, I don't know, like 30 years or something. I was like, what's your secret? Jokingly, but at the same time not. And then he was like, the 3 T's. And I was like, okay, what's that? And,
Wow. I'm going to write it down so I don't forget. Control, 3 T's, tongue. I was going to go somewhere else with that. Tummy.
Yep.
And
your thingy.
Thingy.
Yeah.
Wow. That's really good. That's I am going to remember that one, even though I don't have a thingy, but never mind. We are so glad that you joined us today. This has been a really fun topic to talk about with my co-host Sam Works, and that I will continue to be here with more hope and happiness. I know we're running out of time. I hope that you join me tomorrow with my Friday special series with Alon Carter called Tempting Conversations, because she's the daughter of the Temptations founder, Otis Williams, and that'll be tomorrow. And as usual, it'll be interesting what we're tempted to talk about. Thank you so much for tuning in. We do have one more minute. Oh, I know. This Saturday, if you are interested in upping your understanding of how you can be more wealthy, financial literacy is something that's only taught to 7% schools out there. I didn't get taught. I met this wonderful guy when I was speaking on his tour, John Shin, and he has now taken me on he's my business coach, and then I introduced him to Sam. Saturday, we're going to his estate in Calabasas to learn more about how we can really be more financially smart and wealthy. So if you want to join us, you can message either one of us. There's a form on my bio link for Linktree, and you can fill that out, and we'll see you on Saturday. It's all about balance. Peace in, peace out. World peace through, inner peace. Now go and have the best day ever. We'll see you tomorrow.